Well, Astros visited the White House, and some people think Dusty Baker became president. No, he was just speaking at the podium. And Jon Singleton is on his way to Baltimore to meet the Houston Astros as Corey Julks gets called down. He's been in a slump lately, but we're going to talk about all this on a special edition of Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Bierling's back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H.M. Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I'm pretty excited about Jon Singleton showing up. Always Stros.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and give us a big fat thumbs up, and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer, somebody that listens to our podcast every day. And just go ahead and join the crowd. We got a lot of people that have joined the posse, so to speak, and we're going to go ahead and talk you through this season, because this season has had its ups, its downs, but it looks like it should be easy cruising from this point. Let's hope. But on this show, we're going to talk about Jon Singleton. It has not been an easy road for him. So he has he's going to make his first appearance in a Houston Astros uniform since 2015. We're going to talk about that. Julks, unfortunately, was optioned. We'll discuss that. The Astros visit the White House. Is France still a starter? And we'll talk a little bit more about Pena's struggles, and then look ahead towards the series versus Orioles, and then get into maybe a little bit of drama surrounding the Chicago White Sox, because apparently that is a bad locker room, and Tim Anderson is over there fighting people and stuff like that. So we'll have to talk about that. We know that as Astros fans, we're not big fans of Tim Anderson. So that's what we're talking about on this episode. And first of all, welcome back to Houston, Jon Singleton. I've been telling y'all, don't be surprised if Jon Singleton is going to be up with the Astros pretty soon. He's left-handed. He could be a power option on the bench. Does that mean he's going to play every day, Brett? No, but he'll probably play once or twice a week, and he's going to be something the Astros have not had in a long time. Somebody that can hit for power off that bench.
That's true, because, they do have left-handed power hitters that are in the lineup. But you're right to say that off the bench. That is correct. Look, Corey Julks, for what he did early on in the season, I think he's to be commended. It's a great story. He's a hometown kid who worked his tail to get where he is. Look, 3 for 40-something or 0 for his last 40. He just wasn't getting it done. And you could not ignore. And you had been saying that, and then all of a sudden Dana Brown, it's almost like Dana Brown listens to our show, because there have been several things. They changed the lineup the day after I said they need to hit Tucker and Alvarez back-to-back again. Then you started talking about Singleton, and then Dana Brown comes along saying, hey, the Singleton guy, we can't ignore him. And just to reemphasize what you said, I thought it was interesting that Dana Brown had the comments of, he didn't necessarily say if Dusty plays him, but he said it's going to be up to Dusty to get him in the games. It's going to be up to Dusty to make these lineups. A super impressive outing for him, dude. 339, an OPS of 1.159, 12 home runs, 28 RBI, 6 doubles, 25 runs in 32 games. Eric, this guy's hitting the cover off the ball.
That's with the Space Cowboys. That's not this total year. So
I know.
This is great.
No, and the last time we saw production like this in AAA and people got called up was Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez before they were called up. And I'm not saying he's either one of those guys.
Right.
But if this guy is at this point in his career, and there are a lot more pitchers in this league than in other leagues in the minor league system. But Dana Brown likes this kid. They've been talking about it. And I think it's time. But like someone asked, is he out of options? This is his option. He's with the big league club. In other words, he cannot go down or be optioned to AAA unless some injury comes up and then he's put on the IL. But he cannot be removed. Once he's here, though, Eric, he's here. So my question is, what kind of staying power does he have?
Well, it depends on what he's done, what he can do. We remember Jon Singleton that season where he was up and I think he had 14 home runs, but he also struck out 150 times. That was during the 2015 season, I believe. And he always demonstrated power, but he can never make consistent contact. So and then he also struggled with the suspensions and staying out of those situations. But he has stayed healthy and he stayed clean. And now he's worked his way back up to the big leagues this year with the Brewers. And the Brewers have been a playoff team this year. And so now he's a left-handed option off the bench. And like Brown said in an interview, it's very enticing. In fact, we can use some left-handed bats in our lineup right now. We have Alvarez and Tucker. If there's opportunity, we may exercise that just to see what he can do. We think that if we can get him up here, get some pinch hits, get him in the lineup a couple times a week, that could make a difference. It could energize our offense a little bit, knowing that a little bit of help is coming. So no, he's not coming up to be the savior. He's coming up to just be another option. And who knows, maybe just the feel-good story of this guy that struggled so much and he's worked his way back. And this will kind of rejuvenate with that. And Justin Verlander coming back, you got to do something, get the offense going and have another left-handed power bat. 13 home runs so far with the Space Cowboys. That's great. So if he can do that with the Astros, I don't know if he's going to be doing. What does that mean for Michael Brantley? I know he was.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I don't know if that he did take the field for batting practice in the final game the other day, but I don't know. I don't think the Astros are counting on him. If they get him back, that would be great. But what they're looking for is what can Jon Singleton do for the Astros? And if he's not the option, if he's not the answer, what else can you do?
Right. So to kind of piggyback off that, because we do have some people saying, would you guys take Brantley or Singleton? Look, I think Singleton is your safe insurance in case Brantley does not come back.
Right.
But I think the only way Brantley comes in and replaces Singleton and they would have to DFA him, I guess, is if Singleton coming up is doing absolutely nothing and Brantley is like, man, I'm back, I'm ready, let's roll. Because I find it real hard to believe that Brantley would do even another stint in the minor leagues. I mean, kind of do what Jose Altuve did, just come right in and play Major League Baseball. The good news about Brantley is they're saying there haven't been any setbacks. So the more he takes BP and the less we're not hearing about setbacks, that's a good thing. But the question remains, the calculus part of this, what if Singleton is red hot? What if Brantley gets ready and red hot? Do you want to carry both of these guys on the roster? Mm-hmm. And if you do, who are you taking away for that? Because you're going to have to take someone away for that to happen.
Who is Greg Kissinger?
Well, okay. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's what I'm saying. So
you're taking away some infield depth for
exactly
some outfield depth and some DH depth. I get what you're saying here because we know that Alvarez is going to play a lot more left field now. Somebody's asking, well, how is he going to play? He's probably going to play some first base every once in a while. I think that they're still going to give Abreu a chance to play, but he's going to play DH a lot. So you're going to see Alvarez in outfield a lot more. You'll see Myers and McCormick maybe split a little bit more time in center field. But I don't think he's coming up to play every day. Here's what I do think. He'll play twice a week. And then also when the matchup looks right, because we know that Dusty Baker likes those matchups. That's why Greg Kissinger was in there the other day instead of Yainer Diaz playing first base. So when the matchups look right, he'll be in there. But I think that you'll see kind of him every day as a pinch hitter, because there's always that situation where you need a clutch hit. I'm not saying he's going to be that guy, but they want him to be that guy. They need him to be that guy, and they're praying that he is that guy. So we'll have to see what it all turns out at the end of the day. But the Astros need some better help on the bench, and I think that's what they're hoping that Jon Singleton can do.
That's right. And this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't always clear. Well, when you're dealing with decisions around your career, relationships, anything else, therapy is the best way to stay connected to what you really want to navigate in your life so that you can move forward, so that you can make decisions that align with your values. And doing that is unlike anything. And the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Trust me, hear it from me. I've actually used BetterHelp. It is a phenomenal website. I mean, it is an easy to use app. I haven't made, like, talking to someone hasn't been easier than with this. So if you're thinking of therapy, go to BetterHelp give it a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched to licensed therapists and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Because visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB. You'll get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB. For a better you, please go to BetterHelp. And make sure that you know that the Astros play the Orioles Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time on the SiriusXM app. Search Astros on the SXM app and check out the home broadcast today.
Alrighty, so Jon Singleton, he's coming up. All the Astros are doing, I know he hasn't had a lot of success in the big leagues, but all they can do is try. And if he doesn't work, Justin Dearden, somebody else. There's no harm in trying. And I know a lot of Astros fans are like, well, we've tried this. We've seen this before. We know how this movie ends. But I think that we need to give this guy a chance. And what he's done with the Space Cowboys, I think he's earned it. And we need somebody with some power off the bench because Greg Kessinger, Corey Julks has been struggling. As good as he's been this year, he's been struggling. And Mauricio Dubon, he's not a power option. So they needed somebody off the bench. And Martin Maldonado, even when Diaz is starting, he's not a power option. So Diaz is a power option. But
what people are asking about Pedro Leon, and the reason why he's not up is because his K percent, although it's dropped, it's still not where they want it. And he's a right-handed batter. He is a center fielder for the most part. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to bring in Pedro Leon because of the log jam there.
He may be the next guy up. We don't know.
No, you're right. They may have one or two moves because look, whether we like it or not, the gosh darn Rangers just will not stop hitting the ball. And they just had another guy go down with injury. Josh Jung is out for he might be out the rest of the season with a broken thumb. They've also lost Jonah Heim. So they're losing players left and right. But they're still scoring runs. They're still scoring 8, 9, 10 runs a game. And so that's really why the Astros are. If the Astros were in first place, if they were leading by 4 or 5 games, I don't think they make this move, if I'm being honest.
Right.
But they're making this move because of the inconsistency. We saw in that Yankees series, you have 2 games where you score 7, 9 runs. You score 16 runs in 2 games. And the other 2 games, you only score 4 combined. That's just too inconsistent for a lineup this powerful. And I love how you mentioned maybe this is like the spark they need. Jon Singleton not only getting a second shot at the major leagues, but a second shot with his team that originally drafted him, or not drafted him, but got him from Philadelphia. Was one of those sought-after guys, paid him a lot of money early on. And where this guy's come from to where he is, this could be like a comeback story of the year. This could be a storybook ending for him and for the Astros. So it's a win-win situation because it cost him nothing, didn't really cost you anything to bring him here. And so everything from this point on is just icing on the cake. I love it.
You need a big pitch hitter in the playoffs, definitely in the World Series. And what if Jon Singleton is that guy? So if you need to give him some playing time in August and September just to get him ready for October, see if he's that guy. That's what the Astros.
I mean, look, I'm not saying he's Jorge Soler, but no. Jorge Soler, when he was with the Braves, we know what he did to us. We know what Howie Kendrick did to us. I mean, These are guys that they didn't have a story like, oh, this guy's going to dominate in the playoffs. They just showed up at the right time. And I mean, this kind of stuff is exciting. And this to me is what Houston is about. And if you're from the Houston area, or if you're a transplant and you live somewhere else and you're like originally from here, you know and understand the grind, what happened in 2017, what we deal with as a community, the blue collar, the just, all these things, a great redemption story and all that stuff. I love it. I think it's great for this ball club because to me, this ball club's always been about that. And so, yeah, I didn't realize I was going to be this pumped about Jon Singleton coming up, but it is a really cool story and it's a great opportunity for this club.
Somebody said that Singleton should start every day at DH. No, I think that
No.
Diaz is going to have to get some playing time at DH because we still have the fact that Martin Maldonado is catching every day. And I don't want to go too much into this on this episode. Right. We got a lot to talk about, but John Granado on another show did bring up the fact that the Astros and Diaz's last 4 starts as catcher are 4-0, and Martin Maldonado's last 6 starts are 1-5. So
I saw that. I wondered who said that. Okay, John, because I had him on the show the other day, and I forgot
friend of the show.
That.
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. So, but hey, man. But Eric, so the Astros made a trip to the White House, and Alex Bregman did not wear dress shoes. He wore Air Jordans, just like Stanek.
That's what Bregman does.
I know. He said he wanted to be comfortable. He said he didn't want his feet to hurt on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Jim Crane did take a lot more staff there this year. He said it's nice to have people that work hard in the ballpark that don't get a lot of recognition. To see something like that, it's special to win. It's hard to win, and you got to savor that moment. And Dusty Baker said that these guys standing behind me, he's talked about this team, are the greatest guys I've been around. They always believe in themselves prior to me even coming here. They have the ability to win, and they have shown what perseverance and character can do for you. And of course, Dusty Baker had to mention this. The way we came together was a special feeling that was tough to describe, and it's hard to repeat, and we plan to repeat. So Dusty Baker plans on coming back to the White House next year in 2024.
Oh, so he's saying
he wants to be back as manager.
Oh, wow. So all you Dusty loathers, I'm not going to say lovers, or hey, like you guys know what you think of Dusty. Oh my gosh, Eric, I think you just made everybody. I don't know. Everybody had a really good reaction or a really adverse reaction. Do not put a thumbs down on the episode because of that. But look, I think it's great. And I think no matter who's in office, I think if the president invites you, you go. You go because you respect the office. And I like it when it's not politicized, and you didn't really hear a lot of that this year. And so that's good. But next year, if it's someone different, I think they should do the same thing. And I mean, look, just go, just enjoy it. Like the last time I've been to the White House, I was in 8th grade. That was an amazing tour. I was in awe of just being there. And I didn't even get to go to the cool places that the Astros are going to. And so for some of these guys, this is the only chance they'll get to do that. And also a lot of these guys from foreign countries. It's a big deal because it's the president of the United States. It's the White House. So that's really cool that they got honored. There was no jokes. There was no like, oh, they didn't use trash. I mean, it was just straight up respecting the Astros, 2 thumbs up. So, and of course, Jim Crane did a great job today.
All right. So I do have a question. Like, what do the people that didn't go, like the people that weren't on the team, what do they do? Do they go around town bar hopping? What's Jose Abreu and Kendall Graveman and some of the younger players who?
Now, I didn't see the picture. Were they not with them?
They don't go. I got that confirmed. So they do not go.
Really?
With them. Yes.
Oh man,
So are they playing charades? Are they playing craps at the hotel?
No, they're probably taking the subway from D.C. to Baltimore. I've actually been on that subway. No, don't take the subway from D.C. to Baltimore. Anyways. It was interesting back in 8th grade.
Yes. So in a second, we're going to go ahead and talk about JP France. Is he still a starter? We'll go and touch on Jeremy Pena's struggles a little bit. But this episode is brought to you by Hooters. Why? Because it makes you happy.
That's right. Hooters is the place you want to go if you want to hang out with your buds and drink some beer. That's right. And if you want to get some wings. Oh, and they've got great desserts. I was at Hooters last night celebrating my birthday coming up. We won't talk about that part of it, but it was great. The dessert, I had some key lime cheesecake and I had these fries. They're basically funnel cake, but in the shape of fries with powdered sugar and raspberry jelly. They're to die for. So you have to go check it out. And look, because you're gonna be listening to this on Tuesday. Tuesday, it's $9.99 burger and fries. I'm telling you, their burgers are top notch. You can build your own burger. You can get. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. They have shrimp now. They have fried shrimp that is dipped in various buffalo sauce, and those are to die for as well. Don't forget that the NASA the NASA Hooters is going to have a Ditch Day bus trip on August 24th, Thursday. Go see if there's places to sign up. See if there's any seats. And August 17th in Pearland, there is a pageant. It is a private event. You have to buy tickets to attend. There's great grub. There's great food. And every day you can get $3 Blue Moon drafts and $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. And don't worry, because Hooters is there and they're ready. Why? Because they love to make you happy. So go check them out and tell them the guys from Locked On Astros sent you. And make sure that you watch the Orioles play the Astros at 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right. So, yes, I'm going to just go out there and say JP France is still part of the rotation. I've been saying it on this podcast for many months that eventually Hunter Brown and JP France, you're going to have to find some way to limit their innings. And that's basically what happened here. Urquidy was probably only going to give them 4 or 5 innings. He didn't last that long anyway. So the curious thing about France was he actually had to come in, and I believe it was in the 4th inning of the game. He with bases loaded. So he was told that he was going to come into the game in a clean inning, but he came in with bases loaded and he got the out. He said, obviously that didn't pan out. It was definitely a huge situation and he got the final out. But basically he's going to still be in a 6-man rotation. He confirmed that as far as I know, I'm still a starter. We're still in a 6-man rotation. So I'm treating it as if I'm going to go out there every 6 days and start. But Brett, I will tell you that I wouldn't be surprised if we will see Jose Urquidy and possibly JP France or Hunter Brown do the piggyback system every once in a while, just as Urquidy's trying to build up his pitch count.
Right. And I don't have a problem with that. And they are conditioned to do that. I mean, all of these pitchers, even down to Valdez, experienced that at some point in his career. Javier might benefit from that, Eric, the way he's going lately. I'm just saying that all these guys are taxed innings wise. And my first thought, of course, when Urquidy kind of started getting in trouble, I was like, see, they should have started JP France. But I understand the move. I understand why they're doing it, right? And what I love about JP France is this is what I want y'all to do. Next time a pitcher gets into a tough situation, I want you to pay attention to their body language. I want you to pay attention to their shoulders and their eyes when they're focusing on the pitch. Okay. Seriously. Because what I notice about JP France is no matter what was going on at any point in that game, that 3 1/3 innings that he threw scoreless, he never lost focus. Right. He took deep breaths. He reset himself before every pitch, and he never looked rattled. He didn't look concerned. He didn't look hurried. He didn't look panicked. And that is something that I think has helped JP France excel these last 2 or 3 professional seasons. And that's what the Astros saw in him, not just his success, but how he handled the ups and the downs. And he even says it in his talks afterwards. I think a lot of it has to do with the faith that he has because he talks about that openly. And I think that's a big part of his game. So I'm encouraged because JP France is the guy that will come in and do whatever you want. Sean Dubin, who's in AAA, has that same mindset. He was so glad when he came up, when he was a reliever and a starter. He said, I got to showcase that I can do both. These guys basically want to help the team. They're unselfish and unparalleled in their effort to do what it takes to win. And I think JP France you're going to see some key playoff outs from JP France this postseason, like you did from Hunter Brown last postseason.
Yes, and the Astros will be having a stretch of 22 games in 23 days, so they will definitely be using a six-man rotation, especially to try to save the innings for Hunter Brown and JP France. And I know Justin Verlander's only had X amount of innings before coming to the Astros. I think it was only like 93 or 96, but they're going to be kind of protecting his arm as well. So I think this will help everybody. Urquidy's still building up his pitch count. Javier, he's been struggling with his stuff. Hopefully, by having a six-man rotation, he can kind of figure things out before the postseason. And I think everything's going to be fine. But Framber Valdez in his last game, no hitter. I'm not worried about him. He's a maniac. But one person that we are kind of worried about, and I think Dusty Baker gets asked all the time. I know you've brought it up a couple times. Why is Jeremy Pena hitting second? And this is what he said. I'm hearing, hey, why is he hitting second? The dude just did a hell of a job hitting second. And if he doesn't get good pitches to hit in front of Kyle Tucker and Alvarez, you're not going to get good pitches. But he's in no man's land. They're just teasing him. Right now, it's just part of the learning process. It's hard to come up to the big leagues and just keep on hitting. That's why I've been saying it's part of the. That's why they say sophomore slump. It's hard to make that adjustment. He made that adjustment at the end of last year. Now the league has adjusted to him. Now he's got to figure out how to readjust, and it's all a mental game. But just remember, so in 10 of the last 12 games, Pena slashed 290, 315, 522. During 219 play appearances in the two-hole last year. So Dusty Baker feels like eventually he's going to figure it out. Eventually.
Right. And I think that's great. I think the manager should say that. But we don't have time.
Yeah.
We don't have time.
You don't like 668 OPS?
It's August 7th. No, we don't have time. The Rangers are still in front. This is not May. This is not spring training. This is not, hey, let's see how this guy fits in this role. No, define the freaking roles and keep them there. Period. End of story. Quit dickering with everything. Put them in the 8th spot. Say for the next week, you're going to hit 8th. If you hit this percentage or you do this, your OPS is this, then we'll move you up. But we're putting you here because if you do catch fire, you're going to help our 9-hole guy get up. Y'all are going to get on base when Altuve gets up. He's going to knock both y'all. He's going to get a 3-run home run. That's what you do. I don't like, okay, well, he'll work out of it. No, I'm sorry. We don't have time to work out of stuff.
Right.
That's my personal opinion, but it's also why Dusty is manager and I'm not. I probably would make a lot of wrong decisions. But at the end of the day, yesterday's game, that game was controlled by the 7, 8, and 9 hitter. Pena was part of that bottom. Pena was one of those key hits in the game, okay? And It was him, Maldonado, and Myers. And you don't want to depend on the bottom of your lineup to carry you. But if Pena provides a good bat at the bottom of your lineup, why is that a bad thing? If you're extending your lineup and Pena gets fire, why is that a bad thing? Because then, you know what? There's more urgency on the guys after him to get hits. There's more fire on them. They're like, oh, I'm the 8-9 guy. I'm just going to get out. No, I mean, look,
yeah,
I'm kind of shooting in the dark here a little bit, but keep him down there. Bregman, look, now Bregman, we got to do something about this boy. He was 0 for 15, dude. He was 0 for 15 in New York. That's terrible. You can't go. I can't call for you to go to the 2-hole and expect you to get a walk 2 out of every 4 bats because you didn't get that.
That's why I said Chas McCormick needs to hit second. If you want your best 5 hitters hitting the first 5,
yeah. So put Chas up there. Well, and Eric, one more thing. Why in the heck is Alvarez hitting lower than 4th ever? That should be a Cardinals. That should be a baseball sin. Like the baseball gods should demand penance or some kind of sacrifice for hitting Alvarez 5th or lower. That just should never happen. He should hit no lower than 4th. Do you agree with me? I don't think he should be down there. I think it's too low for him.
Yeah, I know that in the other game I was watching the other day, I forgot what day it was, but I think then they have Alvarez, then Tucker. It was back-to-back lefties.
No, I'm just saying though, like
in general,
in general, I don't like him batting lower than fourth. That's just me personally. At the end of the day,
you don't like him batting third?
Who, Alvarez?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Alvarez third, Tucker fourth, Tucker third, Alvarez fourth. I don't care.
Okay.
But go look at Baseball Reference and go look at how many different lineups that Bochy's had and how many different lineups that Dusty's had.
Go back to 2015 and look how many lineups that AJ Hinch had.
Yeah, did they win a World Series in 2015? No.
Yeah.
They got beat in the ALDS.
Yeah. All right. So I know the Astros are going to be going to Baltimore, and Grayson, I think his name's Grayson Rodriguez, is going to be facing Ramir Valdez. Valdez is 9-7 with 3.07 ERA. Rodriguez is 2-3 with a 6.09 ERA. Rodriguez is like one of the top pitching prospects in the game. None of the Astros have faced him, but of course the Orioles have faced Valdez before. The only person with a home run against him is Santander. So that'll be he's batting 500 against him. The Orioles have a very good offensive team, but if you look at the stats overall, they are 11th overall with OPS. The Astros are 15th. So you would think that they would be kind of a little bit more up there with their record. And then if you look at in terms of home runs, they're 16. The Astros are 9. So how are the Orioles winning? They are 12th in terms of ERA. So they just must be playing better overall baseball. They're just not. They're getting the clutch hits. They have maybe more runners with. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, they've got. I mean, we're not going to see him, but they got Kyle Gibson's one of their best pitchers. I told you Kyle Gibson was one of those guys we should have gone after. He's having a great year. Look, man, the Astros need to win these next 3 games because you know who the Rangers are playing right now? The Oakland low blinds, the Las Vegas Aces, or whatever we're going to call them. They're playing the freaking Oakland A's, dude. I need the Oakland A's to step up and beat the out of the Rangers, because it will make it a whole lot easier in Astros land if the Rangers can lose and we can win at least 2 out of 3 in Baltimore. Give me 2 of the 3. Give me a series win.
Yeah.
But gosh dang it, Oakland, make yourself worth something and go win a freaking ball game. They only have 32 wins on the season.
All right. Closing thoughts. Tim Anderson is suspended 6 games, and Jose Ramirez is suspended 3 games for the fighting incident they had at second base. So this happened the other day, and most of it kind of revolved around the fact that there's a lot of people that feel like Tim Anderson doesn't respect the game. So I know this is something that I've noticed, and I don't really care too much about Tim Anderson, but if you have to go back and watch the video. So go and close this out, Brett.
Yeah. So, Tim Anderson back in 2020 said that all the Astros from the owner down to the trainers need to have a ball thrown at their head. Well, you know what? You squared up Tim Anderson against Jose Ramirez, and you met your match. Little right hook took you out. 6-game suspension. Ramirez was suspended 3, and there were a lot of people suspended. So look, the bottom line is, boys and girls, don't get in fights on the baseball field because it's dumb. And you know what's not dumb? Subscribing to Locked On Astros, making us your team every day, becoming every dayer. And make sure you give us a like. We got 172 watching live. We need everybody to give us a thumbs up. He's Eric the Man Huysman. I'm Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey, and this is your only Daily Astros podcast, your number 1 Astros podcast. Check us out. Go watch our episodes we did over the trade deadline. We did a lot of them. Catch up on some Astros, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night. And as always, go Stros. And we're out.